The service itself, the entity itself, is an entity that I would describe has been sort of in the woods. A lot of disconnections, a lot of disjointments here and there, both external and internal. Yes, this place, no state, no entity, no society will function effectively without revenue, without funding, without financing. Businesses thrive on funds to finance the operations, whether it is capital expenditure or current expenditure or revenue expenditure, or all kinds of expenditures revolves around the revenue engine. And this happens to be where it happens, that every revenue, every entity, every collections, every source of income is harnessed and then put back to the system for the services of the entity. Now, when I came in here, the people I met were battling with a lot of inconsistencies regarding how these revenues are generated, regarding who brings in the revenue, regarding who is involved, regarding the partners to get into the so to the extent that some of the sources of revenue were shut down after some sort of uproar and noise, and orchestrated by majorly touts, some communities where these revenues are coming, and they were shut down. For example, we are not collecting haulage tax, we are not collecting sand beach tax, we are not collecting other road taxes, we are not even collecting market taxes, market levies, and it was like a standstill until we came in, and being the ED, that is in charge of shared services and IT, began to re-engineer the process, starting with knowing who is actually an employee here. Because what was going on is the fact that some of the employees of this place were not helping matters. Some of them engaged in some activities that are not said to be very regular to be able to push up the revenue. Then, of course, we also have some technology issues. You find a taxpayer who made a payment using a POS, and then he gets an alert of the correct tax paid. But at the other end, where we're supposed to see the revenue drop into our account, we now see a pittance. For example, somebody made a payment of 5,000 as a weekly pay. You get to our account, we see only 500 naira, and then the state is being shortchanged heavily, So it became a problem, and we tried to identify some of these electronic deficiencies, and then we tried to close them down. And as soon as we did that, the revenue began to climb up. Between June 1 to the end of June, we got a level that moved from a little bit of over 2 billion, below 2 billion, to 2.36 billion. And then we moved further to strengthen and close some of the leakages we have. And then revenue moved again up to about 2.8 billion. Then we now open new buckets as was approved by Governor Ansek. These buckets include the market taxes, other road taxes including Sand Beach, open the haulage taxes. In the haulage, a lot of things were happening there that were causing a lot of noise and a lot of distortions in the system. For example, if you go to the head, you see avalanche of touts waiting for trucks coming into the state, and they call themselves we are collecting commerce, we are collecting heavy duty, we are collecting this and collecting that, all kinds of taxes. So I looked at it and said, this is purely multiplicity of taxes. So I had to condense all of them and group them on what I call haulage. Every vehicle, whether you carry commerce, whether you carry cattle, it's a haulage. And the tax law allows for haulage taxes because it comes under road taxes. So I brought it down to consolidation, you call it, to what you call haulage taxes, and then separated it by saying upstream or downstream. Now, if you are at the toll gate and somebody is coming into the state and you need to collect this haulage, you need to indicate whether this truck is just passing across. If it's passing across the state, you don't have any business collecting tax at that point. But if the truck is going into any of the markets within the state, you go to station the agents within that market space where you now collect what I call the downstream end of it. Then, of course, we come back to the other part of road tax, which is within those running within the states, which will pay daily, weekly, or daily taxes. Then we went back to the market, and then look, in the market, we also try to do something there. The market have what they call, as I met it, fire service, aswama, traders levy, storage, and all of it. It's also a way to multiply the tax heads. And I said, no, we got to consolidate all of this into what I now call general purpose levy, where you now have that aswama, you have fire service, you have storage, and all of it put in one basket and call it general purpose levy. Once you pay it once in a year, and that's the end of it. Now, people used to think or used to say that Anambra State is 90% informal, 80% informal. Who says that? Now, I tell people, like I had a meeting today, I say, look, every business in the mine market, at the mine market, at our nature, Mbuka, and all of building materials, these are big-time businesses. They are not paying any tax because they have not been documented. And once you set out to go and register a business corporate affairs commission, and they issue a certificate of registration, whether it's an enterprise or a corporate body, that business moved from informal to formal. It had been formalized. So what is left is for us to now take an intentional effort to document that business in our system. And once it's documented, we can then begin a proper assessment. And I've told them, I've met with market leaders over time, telling them, look, listen, I'm coming back to you next year. And when I come back, you're going to tell me who you are, what you do, and how your records are being kept. We'll look at your records. And then we'll give you a proper assessment of what you need to pay as taxes. Some of you do businesses of 1 billion, 2 billion, 5 billion, hundreds of millions as turnover in a year. And then you come and pay us 12,200 as your tax. No, you're just paying for some of the services that is running to you, such as toilet, utilities, toilet, water, and all of that helps the market run. That's what they are paying. None of the businessmen have ever paid personal income tax. And we're coming to that. Now, what we have done to sanitize that place now to get this rolling is the fact that for 2023, we have issued them what we call a manifest. Maybe I shouldn't have been saying this because I still have that as enclosed drafts. These are the manifests over there. Now, I captured this period there. You put your name, your shop number, your telephone number, but we have a column that is always left vacant. By the time we get this manifest, some of them are already being put in the database in our systems here. If you go to the next office here, you see a group of chaps that are very busy from morning till night creating these databases for the market environment. And once they finish, the next thing I do is to use an automation system to create what we call ANSIN number for each of them. Then by next year, you just sit down and then you get a message on your system, on your phone, and you read it from AiRS, demand notice, will give you a BOJ, which is what you call best of judgment assessment. It's not that you meant automatically pay for that BOJ. What we are saying is, come and talk to us, and you come here. We then give you a form like this. This form then documents you automatically from this end. And once you're documented, every information we need to get about you is here, including other documents that are required for you to be properly enrolled. You have letter of application for payee registration, staff payroll indicating annual salaries from CO4, CO7, TCs if you have any, and of course certificates of incorporation of business names, and then photocopy of rents and lease agreement of your accommodation where you're doing your business. And once we have this, you have been enumerated. The next thing we do is, if we like, at the other point, we'll come to you and then use cameras to capture your biometric features, so that we match what we have with your biometric features. And now, to quickly also look at what we're heading to technologically, because we're going to see within the next quarter of next year where our task assessment and collection systems are driven electronically back to back. This is a card. Every automobile owner in the commercial sector will have this card, and then this card, you carry it along with you. The card has a visual wallet in it. The visual wallet must be funded from your bank, from the back end of your bank. If you don't have a bank account, you fund it with using a mobile money POS agents. And so once you do that, every feature you have is now here. And my enforcement agents will come to you. And when they come to you, they flag you down and ask for this card. And they put it on their phone. It doesn't have to be a special phone, a special device. It has to be either an Android or iPhone. For iPhone, you put it on the surface. You see the data on this card now. You see data on this card, and then this data tells you this is the plate number of the vehicle. This is the time the vehicle entered the state, and then of course this is the time the vehicle left the state, and this is the duration of the vehicle within the state, and then there's a charge, automatically charged according to the duration you have spent running your business in the state. And this charge, I see, as you're checking out, it says checked out. Okay, so this card is linked to your wallet, and this amount charging you 10,685 naira has already been deducted from your account, automatically goes to the revenue force of the government. That way, we will get rid of all touts, intermediaries, revenue agents, and my office will become leaner with people who are coming to ask me this bucket, this window, that floor, and all of that. This is the solution. And you can see that solution is here at the end of the day. So by the time we run off the next year and we get this technology up and running, then of course our revenue can immediately be predictable where we're heading to or we're coming to. And then we're going to drive this technology also through the markets, through property tax, through other aspects of the taxing system. We'll do that, and I strongly believe that within the next couple of years, the last revenue profile of the states as listed by Bureau of Statistics placed Anambra State, I think, at level 4 or 5, level 5 or 6, coming behind Lagos, Rivers, Kaduna, Oyo, also, and then Anambra. But in the entire southeast, Anambra is the first in terms of revenue. So you see that I'm sure that if you give us another 2 to 3 years, or 4 years, or 5 years, we'll be running over places like Kaduna or Oyo, and maybe ranking with Rivers closely behind Lagos. We have the potentials to do that. Just that over time we haven't had, just like Nkrumah of Ghana said, that Africa has got all the materials, all the resources, man and material. But what we have lacked over time is somebody who is going to push the way we are going to. So, and as soon as we have put that in place here, I have no doubt in my mind that we will be having a spike in our revenue profile. So, that way you have had the solutions. But we have had challenges, monumental ones, essentially stemming from human human in nature. Now, I'll give you an example. Things that I never expected to happen are happening at this time of the year, Yuletide. People are looking for money by hook or by crook for Christmas, and they do all kinds of things. I got some businesses call me and say, you have issued us a court order, and we didn't. I say, which court order is that? Some of my revenue agents have gone out of their way to issue court orders and asking them to go to court society. You know, people don't like to go to court, but some of these court orders didn't emanate from this office. So, and they're having it. Immediately, I got wind of that. I said, please ignore, because I haven't signed any court order. And then people are then also doing all kinds of things. Today, I have tried to resolve several infractions along that line. A woman just bought something from the building materials market, and as he was about to load it into a vehicle, some people just came and said, you have to pay for IGR. So what IGR is, say downstream, say please, there's nothing like that. Now, that commodity, when it landed at the first time, you have collected the haulage tax at the downstream level. So anybody, just like if you have this brought to the market, onset from where it's imported, you have paid duties and all of that, and you come and pay, and then somebody now comes to buy a bulk of it, he's going to sell in a market now, and say he has to pay IGR. What IGR? What do you call that IGR? It has no name in the tax laws. So, and I immediately shut that process down and said, look, you are going back to what they used to call loading and offloading, which doesn't exist. So, these are the challenges. All kinds of things will happen. People want to make money. Okay, yesterday I've had to deal with a situation where some group of guys who call themselves our revenue enforcement officers accosted a boss, and then tried to ask the person, let us check your profile, whether you have paid or not. And the lady was trying to video the scene, and one of the photos announced, you are videoing us. He took the phone from the lady and smashed it on the floor. That's absurd. That's absurd. So, and when I got, say, please, call me, please. We'll replace the phone for you, because this is people who have sent out. But because they have behaved in an improper manner, does not mean that we will not take responsibilities. You know. So, the human element portrays this environment as still being in a state of nature, which is quite unfortunate. But I know we're going to get over it over time. It's a little bit of culture, a little bit of civilization, a little bit of training, coaching. We have established a place here for training called OPED Center, where from time to time we take these guys into the place and train them on civility, on customer relations management, on aspects of tax laws and all of that, so that when they get out of into the space, they understand what they are doing, and they not be able to function like those in the hunting ground. Okay, so I think these are some of the, though we have other challenges that stem from inside, which has to do with infractions, which ordinarily you will find in every environment like this, but it has to happen within some limits. Okay, but when it gets above some of those limits, then we have to come in with some kind of policies that will prohibit and punish those who are involved. We are coming up gradually. I have been in this office for less than 3 months as chairman. I've been in the other office there as executive director for also about 2 or 3 months. I think we have really done our best within the available resources we have, and also within the level of empowerment we have. I've got SSA on IGR Technical, whom I hired from Lagos State Internal Revenue Service, and she's doing a very wonderful work, trying to sift through the cracks and channels of the structure of administration of this place, and she's been finding out where there are what do you call square pegs in round holes, and then trying to now re-engineer those processes. I know hopefully in the first quarter of next year, we'll be able to realign all these processes and have the best skills in their best positions, and that is potentially going to show in the revenue profile of the state.